Hi everyone, we're going to have a little look at a video today on drink driving. With the Christmas period coming up, a lot of people are going to be going out and there's still big confusion just how alcohol affects us behind the wheel. We're not just going to have a look at drinks as well, we're going to have a look at the effect on our driving with prescription and illegal drugs. State the obvious time. If you're thinking of going out over Christmas or at any point, literally take public transport. Don't even bother taking your car. Before we get into the important stuff, I'd just like to say a big thanks to all the people at the Castle Street Townhouse in Liverpool for letting me do a little bit of this video inside. The service and the food are always top notch. Give them a try. Let's have a look now on how many units of alcohol are in certain drinks. Let's start off with this bottled beer, 330ml bottle, approximately 5% in volume, is 1.7 units of alcohol. An average glass of wine, about 175ml, of average strength, about 12%, contains approximately 2.1 units of alcohol. A single measure of spirits is approximately 1 unit, so this double G&T is obviously 2 units of alcohol. The next question we need to ask ourselves is how long does alcohol stay in your blood? And when would it be safe to drive? In England and Wales for drivers the alcohol limit is 35 micrograms per 100 millilitres of breath. There are other levels for blood and urine, but in Scotland the levels are even lower. For me though, these levels are pretty pointless. Who knows how many pints of beer or glasses of wine I can drink before I'm over the limit? We're all different with our tolerances and there are many different factors, so my advice is to simply don't have one drink if you plan to drive. On average, it takes about 1 hour for your body to break down 1 unit of alcohol. So if you have more than a few drinks during a night out, it can take many hours for the alcohol to leave your body. The alcohol could still be in your blood the next day. So before you drive, wait. If you didn't stop drinking until 4 o'clock in the morning and you'd had 8 bottles of beer, that's going to take at least 13.5, maybe 14 hours to get out of your system. That could mean it could be 6 PM the following evening before you'll be ready and fit to drive. From an instructor's perspective, if you turn up for a lesson and I can smell alcohol on you, there's no in the world you're going to do the lesson and you'll be charged.
So what I did, I got in touch with Merseyside Police and specifically their road policing unit to try and find a little bit more information and make sure I was up to date. We'll start off with the breathalyzer. I took the breathalyzer test myself and here's my memento. And what actually happens is that this goes into the machine. You blow into this tube here at the end for a set amount of time. You can actually feel a little click if you like when you've blown enough, because there must be a valve or something inside it that actually closes when it's got sufficient breath. So you blow till the police officer actually says that'll do, and quite quickly, within actually 30 seconds, the unit tells you whether you've had a drink and whether you've passed or failed. I also found out about the drug tests. Now, I didn't know much about these. I've never been tested myself while I've been out on the road, and it was quite interesting to me to find out how they work. So I'm going to try and explain it to you. What actually happens is, with the unit, hold it the right way, this blue thing comes off. And these little portions at the end actually take a swab of saliva on your tongue a number of times. This was actually mine. It's placed back into the machine and then chemical crystals are broken in this area. You can actually hear them crunching. They've already been broken. This is closed over and then left for 8 minutes on a level surface. And what actually happens, the chemicals mix in with your saliva and actually look for cannabis and cocaine. I don't know whether you can focus, but in here there's a couple of lines, and this is the test line to test the equipment is actually working properly. And a little bit over the other side there's the trace to see whether actually any drugs were found, and as you can see, mine was clear. But again, these are only used as grounds for arrest. If this comes up positive, you'll be arrested, again taken back to the police station, and you'll be given a blood test. These blood tests as well, they don't happen instantly. They're going to take approximately 6 weeks to actually come through. So you're going to be on tenterhooks all that time.
Now we're going to have a look at how drugs affect our driving and how long they stay in our system. Because of the unknown actual ingredients of drugs that people take, the science behind this is even more difficult to predict. Cocaine, however, can stay in your system up to 48 hours after taking it. Prescription drugs can stay in your system a long time. Valium, for example, can stay in your urine for up to 7 days. It is an offence to drive if you have over the specified limits of certain drugs in your blood and you haven't been prescribed them. The effects of marijuana can last up to 24 hours. However, that doesn't tell the whole picture. Traces of the drug can still be in your blood 7 days later and still be in urine up to 12 weeks later.
One thing I did find out from the police was even though you've been maybe tested and found to be under the legal limit, you still might be arrested. And you're arrested because the police think you're still unfit to drive whilst under the influence of drink or drugs. So what are the penalties for drink or drug driving? Well, first of all, you're going to get a minimum of a 1-year driving ban. You'll also be fined, and that fine is not capped, it's unlimited. You can also be sent to prison for up to 6 months. And don't forget, you'll get a criminal record. What other problems might you have if you're convicted for drink driving? Well, if you drive for work, your employer is going to see your conviction on your licence. Car insurance is going to be astronomical. It's going to increase massively. And another problem that people forget about is that you might have problems travelling to different countries. The United States, for example. How would that affect you? You might very well get away with it a number of times. You might get caught by the police. And actually, that's nowhere near the worst thing that can happen. You could take someone's life. And honestly, it would probably ruin the rest of your life also. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. It's a really important message that we've got across. Have a good time over Christmas, but remember, don't mix it with driving these things. Take care, see you soon.